This is one of the cars that was burned last night during the protests that were happening. Again, I am underneath I-35, just across from the Austin Police Department. You can see some of the remnants here of this car. This car was pushed by protesters, as I was told by some of the people who were on scene here last night. This area, if you're unfamiliar with this part of town, it has a large homeless population. These people are still here this morning, so it's not protesters that are here this morning. It is the homeless population that is here. This is their home, and this again is just one of the cars that was burned last night during those protests. And as you can see, just incredible the fire that happened because of all of the destruction that's left. You can see some of the taggings here that have been left, and if you notice, this car is not in a parking spot. Again, as I mentioned, we're told that protesters were able to push this car at some point. You can see some of the burned remains on the ground as our photographer is showing us. Now, if you come up here to take a look at the Austin Police Headquarters, we're not going to zoom in too much because there is profanity on the building, but you can see just the whole entire building has been tagged up until, clearly where people could not reach to tag the building anymore. We are seeing now some street sweepers that have come in trying to clear the road. You might notice that loud noise that is beginning to appear. Again, those are street sweepers that are here on scene. Pretty quiet this morning, other than the obvious new tagging and the burned remnants. You would think it was another morning in Austin, Texas here, Bridget.
Yeah, Leslie, earlier you mentioned there were some agitators in the crowd. How did police kind of handle them?
Earlier I had spoken with some police officers that were still here. These were police officers that have been here all night, kind of monitoring the crowd since 5 o'clock last night. I asked them, what they had seen, how things were going, and they noticed that the protesters themselves, they made it a point to say that the protesters were being peaceful for the most part. They said that there were other people in the crowd that didn't look to be a part of the protest. They mentioned that those were the people that were throwing bottles and agitating that crowd. And again, this was just in a conversation that I had with some of the patrol officers on scene. And again, they made it a point to be safe. They told our crews to be safe. There is another march that is planned. This is the Austin Justice Coalition. It's a Justice for Them All March for Black Lives and Freedom. That is planned for today. That starts at 1 o'clock, and according to their Facebook event page, it's set for the south steps of the Texas State Capitol. That's at 11th and Congress. But again, officers just saying be careful, be safe if you are going to plan to come out here. Bridget?
Leslie, stay safe. We'll check back in with you shortly.